Start with the name of Allah, who is most gracious and most merciful. Assalamu alaikum students. How are you all? I hope you all will be safe and staying at home. Today I will also teach you semantic subject with given topic of componential analysis. In the previous two lectures, I have also explained in detail the basic meaning and basic introduction. Today, we will also know about what is componential analysis by getting the review, recalling in your mind that what was that, and secondly, it has been divided into different parts. To understand what is componential analysis, we have divided it into basic three parts. Then I will also explain to you further. Very first, I want to explain to you, or I want to recall in your minds or storming in your brain that what was that. If you have to remember according to my previous two lectures, that you have to revise and you try to do brainstorming. I explained that componential analysis, the basic mean is that componential, it is derived from the compound word, which means a combine or combination. The secondly analysis, it means to say deconstruction or a detailed examination. But what's the role of componential analysis in the linguistic or in the language? We have to observe keenly today, and we try to know that what's the value is it. In this time, in your screen, there has been given this approach involves identifying the steps in complex information processing task and seeing how each process contributes to the decision. Stemberg's componential analysis on solving analogies, that is red, stop, green. Red means stop. What does the mean of green? I think all of you know about this one. Green mean to say go. When we are getting these lights, or when we have to observe these lights according to the traffic rules, so what we say that definitely whenever the red mean to say stop, no movement, no more. And what it will be the sense of the green, that move on. So same like that, the next example has been given, that graceful, clumsy, late, and what it will become after that. In semantic subject, componential analysis is considered to be an important approach to the study of meaning. As you know very well that what does it mean? It's mean to say that we have to observe the meaning in detail. What does the mean of that? And what the text has been given, which type of words has been given in the text in the linguistic. In the previous lecture, I also have explained to you all there are basics two major parts. That very first, what was that? It was about cultural words. We are going to identify the cultural words in the linguistic, and we try to know about the meaning of that. The second one was synonyms. The synonyms, which were the alternate words we are using, and I have also given a very great list in the adjectives. Mostly adjective synonyms has been used. That example was also given over there. It was about unhappy. If we are not using the word sad, that what type of word we can be used instead of sad. So those two areas are most important. And the third one area was that was the lexical words. The lexical words usually which has been used in the linguistic words, that what does those means and why they are using in that. But in today's lecture we will also know about what the basic three parts has been remarkable in the componential analysis, or which three parts are most essential to observe, or how we can get the basic factors of the words. So to observe or to identify the componential analysis in the semantic features, with the semantic features, I have to divide it, or it has been divided into three sections. What three sections? Very first it will be the introduction, the secondly componential theory, and the third one its advantages. So in introduction we know about the basic words or basic structure or basic factors of the different words. And the secondly, componential theory, this is a most important section. In that we also know that how much it is important and how the number of important assumptions that componential theories of semantics are based upon. And the third and last one is advantages. That what's the advantages of componential analysis in the semantic or in the linguistic. So there is a bit intro, or there is a bit information about these different three major parts or major sections. Very first section has been given the intro, as I have explained the introduction. What is intro, or what is introduction, or what things are basically included in their introduction. It's actually the act as introduction to the subject of componential analysis and what is meant by this term. Secondly, componential theory. This is a second probably important point which deals with componential theory and also its relations with the theory of conceptualism. What the concept has been given and how this theory has been worked on there. The third and most important advantage is what's the advantages of componential analysis in the semantic or in the linguistic. So the third part or third section is devoted to the componential analysis as a device and the components of meaning and the advantages of adopting such approach to the study of meaning. So these three major sections are most important of componential analysis, and they also reveals that how much it's remarkable or valuable in the semantic as well. So we will also get the more detail or further detail about each and every section, and you will also get the great knowledge about every section. The next slide is about the section 1. So let me explain in the detail what is included in section 1, as I have already told you that in section 1 a comparatively new way to study lexical meaning is by analyzing lexemes into series of semantic features of components. So here I will also explain again the lexical. What does the mean of lexical meaning? Lexical meaning, that rhetorical meaning or linguistics meanings. Lexical, or there is another one word which mean to say lexon, which has already explained in the previous lectures. That was a book who has been managed or arranged or designed according to alphabetically, as we call that dictionary. So lexical, it's also derived from that one word, which means explaining the words, meaning of the words. So in such way we also easily say, or it will be right to say, that a comparatively new way to study lexical meaning is by analyzing lexeme into series of semantic features of components. And what type of that, or how we can explain this in the example, as the example has been also given, man. Man, if we have to observe its basic factors, there are 3 factors has been given or has been mentioned over here, which is human, adult and male. Mean a man, it mean to say he is a male, he is also belong to human being, and he is also adult, or we can also say that is a mature. So this approach was originally devised by anthropologists as a means of comparing vocabulary from different cultures, and has been developed by semantics as a general framework for the analysis of the meaning. Furthermore, the term componential analysis can be explained by given a different examples, a list of examples. You will also understand, you will also try to get more information or more clear concept about section 1 by given or by getting more examples. In these examples, you will also know about the not even semantic features, even you will also know about how you can comparatively study the different meaning by analyzing the different word. These all words who are having a different factors, you also identified, you realized those all words are not even different by their factors. You will also see that how they can also explain the semantic features as well. As the very first example has been given, it has been clearly explained there are basic 3 major factors by semantic features, or by using or by analyzing the semantic features, which were that human, adult or male. If I have to say over here a boy, so definitely a boy will also having the same, but what the different, or what will be the difference between man and the boy? In previous lecture, as I have also explained, that a man is a mature, but the boy will be adult or young, we can say young. That not we will say he is not the mature one, he will be immature. Man is having major 3 factors, human, adult and male. But if I will explain about the boy, what the boy has basic 3 factors, human, young and male. So further there will be some explanation, there will be some more examples has been given, which will make you more clear rather than before. I hope that you will understand in very well way. Section 1, it's a very important section. If you will understand this one, then you will easily getting the next 2 sections. So section 1 is having a great value of the componential analysis. Section 1 is having the great value, because if we are not getting a very first step, then how we can move to the next one. So let's come to the more examples where you will get more clear concept. There has been given, furthermore, the term computational analysis could be explained by considering examples stated below. There are more given examples who can be explained that what is componential analysis and how we can give the proper introduction by that. As the previous one page or previous one slide, there was given the example of a man with basic 3 factors. But here there is given bit more examples. Very first example has been given man, woman and child. The next one is bull, cow and calf. The rooster, hen and chicken. Drake, duck and duckling. If we have to observe, each and every example has been given of their basic factors, like they are human or non-human, and secondly they are male or female, mature or immature. So we can easily categorize these all. By examining the meaning of those words, we can set up the following proportional equations as man, woman, child, then bull, cow and calf. From the semantic point of view, this equation displays the fact that the words man, woman and child on one hand and bull, cow and calf is another one hand, or on the other hand share something in the common. In addition, in this addition or in these examples, we can also see that man and bull have something in common which is not shared by the other 2 pairs, and woman and cow have also something in the common which is not shared by the either man and bull or woman and cow. It means to say they are similar in first row what the words has been given or what the examples has been given. Those all almost have the same factors, and in the second row what the factors they are having, they are not similar with the first one row's words, and same like that the third one row they are also different. So these different group of words is also called a semantic component, also called semantic mark or semantic categories. So moreover, the equation mentioned above can be introduced by using numerical proportion. This means that where the first element is divided by the second is equal to the third divided by the fourth. So from this proportion, man, woman, bull, cow, we can get 4 components of meaning, and they are male, female, adult, human, adult, bovine, or furthermore we can extract the components adult and non-adults. We can factorize other components and eventually we can describe a word as man as the product of the components like male or basic factor, male, adult and human. As I have explained already, this componential approach to semantics has a long history in logic, philosophy and linguistics. I hope that it will be clear to you all that what is that and how it has been categorized. Every category is almost have the same factors, same basic factors according to the semantic features. Now the next one, componential analysis, how it can be work and how it can be important with the Componential theory. So the second one section, componential theory, is also has major 4 parts or major 4 categories, which are analyzing the vocabularies. The second one is componential analysis and conceptualism. The third, meaning. What's the meaning of componential theory and what is the meaning of componential analysis? Either they are same or different. We will know about this one later. And the last point is components of the meaning. So we are going to explain, we need to get more explanation about these major 4 points which has been given in this second section. What the second section was, componential theory. What is that and how we can understand that? So there are a number of important assumptions that the componential theories of semantics are based upon. The most important assumption suggests that the semantic components are language independent, or in other words, universal components. So in many instances it has been suggested that the vocabularies of all human languages can be analyzed partially or totally in the term of a limited set of semantic components, and these components themselves are independent of the particular semantics structure of an or any given language. So these are very important. According to this point of view, the semantic components might be identified as the same component in analyzing the vocabularies of all languages. So it means to say, in the componential theory, it can be say, or it is right to say that we also not just identify different components or different words or different means, even we also analyzing the vocabularies of all languages as well. So without regarding the linguistic model which any linguist prefers to use in describing the facts of the language, the role of the semantic components is almost universally regarded as being fundamental to any analysis of semantic structure. So the semantic components are structurally essential if a linguist deals with semantic problems in terms of domains. Also, if one prefers to deal with structure in terms of generative trees. So it means to say that in componential theory we also realize not just vocabularies, not just word, even vocabularies, concept or conceptualism, and the basic meaning of the text, and in the end the component of the meaning also. So it is right to say, as the first introduction was necessary, so same like that the second one portion or second one section is also more important rather than others are. So it is clear picture has been given by describing these points, that how much necessary, how much it is valuable, it is remarkable to analyze or to the componential analysis. So it is also a one most major point is remain to explain. What was that? That was componential analysis and conceptualism. So what is conceptualism? Actually, it is clear that the value of componential analysis in the description of particular language is not affected by the status of the semantic components. In universal terms, it must also be realized that componential theories of semantics are not necessarily conceptual or mentalistic. This point should be emphasized because not only one Keats and Comsey, but also many other linguists have defended a componential approach to semantics within a philosophical and psychological framework which takes it for granted that the meaning of the lexical item is the concept associated with this item in the mind of the speakers of a particular languages. It means to say that not just most famous linguists Keats and Chomsky, even many more linguists also defend a componential approaches to semantics within a philosophical and psychological framework. So it has been suggested that the semantic theory should avoid commitment with respect to the philosophical and psychological status of the concept, ideas and mind. Psychological, how it will be the status of the concept, ideas and mind. Thus the first set represent things which are related to the acceptability of or unacceptability of the sentences, or to the relation which holds between the sentences, which can be described by assigning to the words of the first set a distinctive semantic component which is called physical object. So it's a very clear things that how much it is different, it is important, and how it is avoided, how the semantic theory can be avoided commitment with the respect to the philosophical and psychological status of the concept, ideas and mind. Now we are going to move to the next and the final section which was about componential analysis of the meaning and advantages of that. What's the apparent advantage of the componential analysis? So it also has been divided into major three categories, into major three parts. Very first, development of semantics. In it we also know about the componential analysis of the meaning as the previous one in the theory. What the meaning of the componential analysis, and same like that before know the objectives, before know the advantages of componential analysis, we also know the meaning of that. So it is clearly defined that componential analysis, the method of reducing a word's meaning, the meaning of the words, to its ultimate constructive element. Within modern linguists, the componential analysis of meaning was adapted from distinctive features analysis in morphosyntax. From that example which has been given already in the previous slides, that was about male and female, I will also explain more that we have also obtained a single atom of meaning male as opposed to female, with which we can define the difference between uncle, son, grandfather and brother as a set opposed to aunt, daughter, grandmother and sister as a set. So it means to say that we classified the words, we classified these examples which are the male they are in the different relations, and the females, they are also having a great list to understand or to making their own separate set, as I have told about aunt, daughter, grandmother. The most important section which was about apparent advantages of componential analysis. The most important advantages of the componential approach to semantic is that in terms of the same set of components, we can answer two different questions. The first is about the semantic acceptability or unacceptability of syntagmatic combinations of words or phrase. The second question is, what is the meaning of a given or particular combination of lexical item? And you know very well that what is the meaning of lexical and what it's derived from. So it has been suggested that significance of any grammatically well formed sentence is traditionally accounted for in terms of specific general principle of compatibility between the meanings of their constituent lexical item. If we take the word pregnant and assume that it contains a component which restricts it to the modification of noun, which contains the components female, according to this rule, a pregnant woman or pregnant mare would be significant, but the phrase the pregnant man or pregnant stallion would be meaningless or uninterpretable. So it is very clear to say that whenever we are going to explain the semantic features by using the componential analysis. So its main advantage is that not only we are clear about the words, they are also given the clear sense to us as well. So componential analysis made considerable contribution to the development of semantics. The most significant thing is that it brought together both the formalization of a syntax and the formalization of the semantics closer together, and linguists are seriously concerned with the relations between syntax and semantics. It means to say it is most probably together, closer together by their mean. Semantics components represent the conceptual constituent of sense in the same phrase. Markers represent the syntax constituents of sentences. They represent not only the atomic constituent of meaning, the simplest concept, which we call the simplest concept, but also the complex one. It means to say the semantics and syntax both are most closer together. Both constituents of a sense in the same phrase. They represent not only the one constituent of the meaning, even they are also explaining the simplest and complex one also. So finally, we have to mention that componential analysis does not handle all semantic relations with the same effectively. For one hand, it is also difficult to reduce the relational opposites to the components as in parent or child. We could treat this as having the same component but in different directions. The componential analysis has many advantages, and that is why it becomes essential for the linguists to use such approach in dealing with different problems of semantics. The idea of componential analysis does not introduce a new type of relation, but present a theoretical framework for dealing with such type of relations. Its contribution in morphosyntax syntax and kinship system has changed contemporary linguists' opinion on semantic analysis by showing that it can be carried out easily by using structural analysis. Such analysis provides us with an economical way to treat a set of words or families of words in terms of few components. On the other hand, this componential analysis is also beneficial in defining what lexical gaps are there in a given language, and on the other hand is good in handling not only the atomic constituent of meaning but the complex ones also. It is clear effect in bringing closer both the framework of syntax with the framework of the semantics. It is considered to be a big step towards the development of semantics in the last few decades. In the last, I would like to share that the present situation. In the present time, it is widely suggested that semantic components are language, independent or universal, shared by the vocabularies of all languages, so it gained a great deal of the importance. So it was all about the functional, it was all about the componential analysis, that how it was important, why it was necessary in the semantics. Either semantic is the similar with any other one subject like syntax, and in the end we also know about its advantages. So nothing is remain to understand or making more explanation it is. So all framework has been discussed, all componential analysis points has been described. So this is a time to ask to you if you are having any questions. So you can also explain, you can also ask. If you have any query, you can also ask to me, you can also raise your questions. You try to identify these all, and I hope you understand very well. Nothing is remain to explaining more. Very clear and most easy examples you got. And further, if you are having any type of any sort of problem, any point in your mind, so you can also share with me by messaging, by given the message in the chat box, and try to revise these all lectures about the componential analysis of the semantic features. So it's not just easy, it is also interesting as well. And further, I will look forward to you if you are having any problem or any point, so I will also explain to you as well. Okay students, now there is given some reference. You can also make confirm or make concern if you feel any problem or any questions if you are having. So you can also use these references for making more clear about this one lecture. I hope that you all clear about this one, but further you can also use these two books, these two references, to making more clear. So a lot of best wishes for you. Thanks a lot to getting my all points, and further for the future I wish to see you are very successful students. So stay safe, stay home. Allah Hafiz.